We've got systems, we've got stories, we're talking about all kinds of things, about how it's 100 days of really chatting about the salon and how to improve your business so that you can move into seven-figure energy at the very least, and seven-figure plus based on your systems and your foundations. If you don't have these things in place in your salon, it tells me that you've just skipped a step and that your foundation is wobbly. And that's okay, because literally you would be in great company with about 80% of most salons around the country. And I want to change that. I mean, that's what I'm doing here in these videos, is I'm sharing things that I know work, that dramatically change and benefit and increase the opportunity for the salon to make money inside the salon, inside of different pathways of cash that we can create, inside of growth, inside of literally changing nothing within the business, but just focusing on things in the right way in order to support what you're already doing that's making you money. Like, who doesn't want to make more money, right? And that's a conversation we can talk about, and like the weirdness about like saying you want to make more money and do those things, like, you know, most people, there is a previous video where I talked about, like, if you don't believe you deserve it, and if you don't think that it's possible for you, and if you don't believe in yourself, and like, that's one half of the equation. But the other thing is, and this is stuff you might come up against with your staff, maybe not with you, right? But also salon owners have bags of troubles as well, and things in their skeletons, and we've all got stuff and money and stuff that we bring with us because we're human into salon ownership can be a real biscuit, and it can really hinder you, frankly, if you're not good with money, if you have a weird money story, if you need to rewrite your money story, like all of that. Money mindset is incredibly important to work through if you want to be a successful business owner, especially moving into seven figures. And that's not what we're going to talk about right now, but we will over the next 100 days absolutely talk about money mindset and just like get your mind right. In general, your mindset needs to be one of abundance if you want to be successful in business, because what you focus on is what you get more of. I recently had a conversation with one of my stylists, and she was talking about church, and this church that she goes to now is totally different than the church that she like grew up in and was in, and she had all this like stuff happen in life, and then like, hey, look, you're allowed to change your mind and do different things, whatever it is. And so she switched churches, and she was like, it's amazing, like just what you surround yourself with, what your reality becomes. She's like, because when I was at that old church with the old people, right, that used to be her community and her world, it was kind of doom and gloom, and that like, you know, like things were bad, and I don't know, I'm just retelling this story, okay? So if it's wrong, it's whatever. It's about the metaphor, okay? It's about the metaphor. But she switched churches, and she's around positive people that like let you be who you are. Like, it's a whole different deal, and I don't care if you don't like church. This is just about the metaphor. You are allowed to do whatever you like to do in my world. And you should be able to as a human as well, outside of my world. But here, you're safe to do what pleases you. And I support it. The thing is that like, it's just your scenario. And she was like, it's just because that's the rhetoric. That's like that's what they teach. And she's like, I had to remove myself from that scenario. And like, my mindset is so different now because I'm around like positive people that think that more is okay, that think we don't have to, you know, and these are not my words, but like play small. Like, we get to play full out. And for her, what that looks like in terms of, you know, whatever that means to her, that's her deal. But it made me go, yeah, because it's all your mindset. Like, you think, therefore you attract. If you're driving along, right, driving in your car, and there's that guardrail that's so scary over here, if you're in the fast lane like me and you have a lead foot, or if you're in the slow lane and there's like some cones or something, but like and if you look at it, you see all those marks on the wall of the concrete on that like thing when they're doing construction, or just like the median in general if it's there. Also, like, why don't they give us more space? Like, please, for the love. But like, you see all those marks of people that like just accidentally run into it. It's because they're looking at it. What you focus on is where you freaking go. So if you're focusing on doom and gloom and there's not enough for me and I'm not gonna get there, yeah, you're actually so right. And if you're over here and you're like, actually, I'm just gonna avert my gaze a little bit this way. I'm gonna just drive straight because that's where I wanna go. I don't need anything to do with that. I'm gonna block that out and put my blinders on. block out that guardrail. You just go forward. I'm not your woo-woo queen. I'm not all those things, but some of it you can't avoid, that there is energetics in business. Like business energetics is huge, and it comes down to your self-leadership and how well you can talk to yourself. I'm serious. Like you have to be kind of nuts to be a business owner anyways. Like you kind of do. You have to just be a little bit wired differently to be able to handle this stress, to do this well, to say like, I'm gonna do this and you're gonna come with me. How nuts is that? It's so much safer to let someone else take the risk. But that's not you. That's not what you're doing. That's not what you signed up for. Like you're in it, you're doing it. So make sure your mindset is right. You can't live in fear in business. You have to have a mindset of abundance. If you live in scarcity and lack, you're gonna get more. I don't want you to be actually delusional, okay, and irresponsible with your finances because more is always coming. Like, maybe, I hope so if that's what you're doing, but like, you still have to take action. You still have to move. You still have to like put the plan in place, have a customized business plan for yourself. Like you have to have the foundation so freaking solid. You must. You absolutely must. And so like it's about how you move through things, but how you move through things as a business owner, as a salon owner, is also about how you mentally are prepared to move through them. And that comes from your mindset. And I think like a lot of times in my coaching, what I see most often, and for me personally too, but after all these years, I do feel like I've got this pretty much figured out for me. And I share what has worked for me and for thousands of other people that I've worked with online. But it is about like, and in coaching, it's more than just what worked for me. It's about what works and what will work for others as well, because I've seen it happen. But beyond that, it's that you have to really learn how to speak to yourself better. And it often comes down just to a reframe. It's like, here's a perfect example. I have to pay taxes. I hate taxes. The tax man is so annoying. He's the worst. Like Uncle Sam's out to get me. Boo-hoo, right? Like that's a lot of people. A lot of people in this country. Do I want to pay like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in taxes? In my gut, my first instinct, because like I've been trained, right? Like by society and all these things, I want to say no. My gut instinct is no. But actually, the best reframe on that is yes, because that means I'm making F tons of money, right? Like it's a reframe. Like I get to, because I'm having this level of success. Every effing time, every time the washing machine breaks or the dryer, because you know those little mofos, they love to do that. And I'm not doing a laundry service. Bless you if you have that and you want that. Every time it breaks, I'm so grateful. I give myself a reframe. It's not poor me. It's not I don't have money for the washer or the dryer. I have been in that situation. I'm telling you, my business was not always fantastic. My business was not always great, you guys. I didn't always have excess. But I learned through all this, and that's why I get to do this now. I get to do this. So like, yeah, like I'm so grateful when the washer and dryer breaks, because I have the means to go buy another one. I have a means to get it fixed. And it's such a blessing that I actually have this washing machine that has worked so hard that we need to wash that many towels, because we have so many people that come in, that we have so many stylists that want to work for us, that do work for us, that keep us in business, moving. Like I'm so grateful. I can reframe that washer all the way down to like, I'm so grateful that I took this risk, that I was willing to take this risk and bring people along for the ride with me. All of the above is so freaking great and so real. And it is just, sorry, I don't know what that was. The lights got weird. And it's abundance. It comes down to that. But also it's just a simple reframe of catching yourself and saying, how can I move out of scarcity in my head? How can I have this mindset be better and move into abundance in this? And just positivity. And the simplest way to do that is via gratitude. So, do what you want with this, right? But I'm telling you, if your mindset sucks, your business is going to reflect that. If you look at any business in the top, any business across the board, like if you look to their CEO, the person who's in charge, and you go, okay, like how's their mindset? How's their mental well-being? How's their mental state? and they're doing great, I bet you that business is doing great. If they are having a really hard time, whether that's personally or they just have like a terrible outlook on life, or they're kind of a woe is me person, or this sort of like meh, 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 victim stuff, like I bet you it's reflected in the business. So you got to get your mindset right. You can't live out of fear, and you can't move out of fear when you are a business owner. You took on this risk and you're ready to go. You got to believe in yourself and know it's possible, and then just freaking run with it. Of course, you got to do the work, right? You got to do the work to make it happen. But if your mindset is right, you can move through it a lot more successfully.